guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel, Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant content, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. Visit my website at hairliciously.com to purchase your low-level laser therapy cap, DH debulking shampoo, conditioner, and serum, hair growth vitamins, Pyrilutamide, and a few other products to help those who are losing hair. So in today's video, I finally wanted to give you guys an update on my use of topical Pyrilutamide. And it's been exactly 3 months since I've started incorporating this anti-androgen into my hair loss treatment stack. And because a lot of you guys have been showing interest and asking me for an update, I just wanted to share with you my personal experience using Pyrilutamide. I've been sourcing bulk Pyrilutamide from a well-known and reputable Chinese biochemical pharmaceutical company, and using the same dosage that Kintor Pharmaceuticals has been testing in patients for their phase 1, 2, 3 clinical trials that showed the highest efficacy for hair growth. 0.5% topical Pyrilutamide, which is 5 milligram Pyrilutamide per 1 milliliter of ethanol and propylene glycol solution at a 70-30 ratio. Now, one of the main reasons why I had started an anti-androgen on top of a 5-AR inhibitor was because I knew that I wasn't addressing all of the androgens. Despite previously having been on oral finasteride and transitioning over to topical dutasteride for the past few months, I knew that there was going to be remnants of androgens that would still be circulating in my scalp that would still continue to induce androgenic effects to my hair. Yes, I've had, a total of 2 hair transplants with a relatively mild case of hair loss that was mainly kind of situated into the hairline and the temporal points. But, at the same time, I was also being pretty proactive with hair loss treatments after my first hair transplant so that I can stabilize and slow down further miniaturization. Now, just a quick family history of hair loss. My dad's been losing hair since his early 20s. And now he's in his early 60s with a hair loss pattern somewhere between like a Nord 4 to a Nord 5. My paternal uncle, who's almost 70 now, is a Nord 7. He's just slick bald. And from the photos that I've seen, he's been like that since his mid to late 30s. Both my maternal uncles are around the Nord 5, probably around like 45, early 50s. Both sides of my grandfathers were Nord 7s. My grandmother's brother also started losing hair into his 50s. He's probably around like a Nord 7 as well. So there's a pretty strong prevalence of hair loss going on both sides of my maternal and paternal side of the family. And had I not been proactive with treatment early on, there is a pretty good likelihood that I would have continued to lose more hair and miniaturize. I also wanted to see if I could incorporate a treatment that would work in a different mechanism of action, like an anti-androgen, to just basically promote more growth, or at least thicken up some of the thinning areas that I was experiencing, especially kind of like on the sides here due to retrograde alopecia. I've noticed thinning on the sides for quite some time now. And when I was on oral finasteride and topical dutasteride, paired up with Minoxidil and microneedling, it wasn't really doing much. So I wanted to see if adding in an anti-androgen like Pyrilutamide would help promote hair growth, or at least thicken up the thinning area. And I am happy to say that after being on Pyrilutamide for the past 3 months, twice a day application, I've actually noticed kind of like some hair thickening on the sides. Kind of like particularly above the ears, and I've been applying it pretty religiously on the hairline and also on the temporal points as well, just basically on the sides of my head. And I wasn't applying it anywhere else since I wasn't thinning like in the mid scalp or the crown area. There really wasn't any new hair growth that I noticed at my 3-month treatment, but the hairs actually look a lot more thicker. I don't know if you guys can kind of tell. And it isn't as transparent and see-through and just thin as it was before. Now, I will try to grow it out and take some before and after photos just for comparison purposes, but I'm pretty sure that it's not from topical dutasteride, because honestly, I really wasn't noticing too much of a difference when I was solely on topical dutasteride along with my other hair loss treatment stack. I think with topical dutasteride, I was able to stabilize my hair loss, but I actually wasn't seeing a whole lot of results in terms of hair growth or increased density. When I was on oral finasteride, 0.5 milligram once a day, I also was able to stabilize my hair loss, but I don't think I really noticed any new hair growth. And as far as side effects from Pyrilutamide, I did experience some temporary contact dermatitis, the areas where I did apply it on the hairline and the sides of the scalp, where, most of it was just kind of like dryness and itchiness, but it did go away after a few weeks of use. Pyrilutamide, it's not known to cause any sexual side effects since it doesn't alter the hormonal profile like it does with 5-AR inhibitors, finasteride, dutasteride. So thankfully, I also did not experience any sexual side effects. But on the day that I did incorporate microneedling into my treatment, I made sure that I waited at least 12 hours before applying pyrilutamide. And once again, this is done so that you guys can minimize your chances of the topical being absorbed and going into your bloodstream. Overall, I am pretty satisfied with the results that I've seen from using pyrilutamide into my hair loss treatment stack. I've always been a big fan and highly interested in Kintor's Pharmaceuticals research, especially when they first announced their clinical trial for KX-826. And once they've, confirmed safety and efficacy from their phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials, I wanted to give it a shot and see for myself if it would actually help in promoting new hair growth and preventing further hair loss. I've also been fascinated with their other treatments and their pipelines, particularly GT20029, their AR ProTac, GT0918, which treats metastatic breast cancer. And so Kintor is by far one of my most favorite companies that's dealing with treating hair loss that actually has also been meeting their milestones and also, providing timely updates. And at least in my opinion, I'm fairly optimistic that pyrilutamide will be successful in phase 3 clinical trials and eventually commercialized in the near future. The main reason why I had chosen pyrilutamide over some of the other well-known anti-androgens like bicalutamide, spironolactone, flutamide, and especially more so RU-584 for one was because for RU there wasn't any definite clinical studies on human trials to test for safety and efficacy. Everything that you guys see as far as results on RU is just anecdotal. RU's binding affinity for the AR is on par, if not greater than that of testosterone. But pyrilutamide has an even higher binding affinity than DHT for the AR. So this alone puts pyrilutamide as a far more effective treatment as an anti-androgen, as it is going to outcompete DHT completely. And to give you guys a quick perspective, pyrilutamide binds to the androgen receptor with a very high binding affinity with an IC of 0.28 nanomolar. And this measures drug's efficacy, and the lower that it is, the more potent it is. Whereas something like bicalutamide has an IC50 of 3.1. RU-5881 has an IC of 1.1. So basically, if you compare pyrilutamide to RU, pyrilutamide is stronger by about 4 times than that of RU. But yeah, overall, pretty excited to see further improvement as I am just on 3 months of treatment of pyrilutamide. Based on phase 2 clinical trials, patients saw significant improvement at their 6 months of treatment with increased hair count similar to that of oral finasteride. So I'm looking forward to seeing better results over the next few months. I think that is one of the best hair loss treatments to incorporate if you are looking for something to add on top of a growth stimulant, a 5-AR inhibitor. I personally would highly recommend that you throw in an anti-androgen, even if it's not pyrilutamide, into your hair loss treatment regimen, just so that you can target hair loss through various mechanisms of action and maximize your potential in stabilizing. And even, there's a good chance that you might even be able to reverse hair loss. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my 3-month update on pyrilutamide. I'll likely do another update once I hit 6 months. But that's all I have for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns pertaining to pyrilutamide or hair loss or hair transplants. Thank you once again for watching. Thanks for all of your support, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care, guys.